Ooh, and we're live.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to our Tuesday night stream. If you are new here, we stream Monster of the Week with a lot of homebrew rules. We have an urban fantasy mystery adventure thing, a la Supernatural and Scooby Doo going on. So, uh, buckle up. Tonight we are in for a treat because Dan is going to be our keeper. And if you missed part one, you can check it out in the links. It should be there on Twitch if you're catching this pretty soon after we aired, or it will be on our YouTube channel or our Facebook.
As a little bit of a refresher for everybody, last session was largely getting Thomas back into the swing of things and catching him up on a lot of the recent developments, a bit of research into draconic lore as Rory continued to search for a dragon who was supposed to have been awake during all of the countless ages his people were sleeping, and with a bit of help from the Order of St. George in form of Dorky, I think would be the kind way of putting it, gentlemen. They were able to turn up a lead, which would be suggesting that their quarry might be somewhere outside of modern Istanbul. A handful of other conversations surrounding what was next for everybody and what might happen in Wealdport in the near future were brought up, and the gang resolved to travel, knowing that this is an expedition that is funded by and approved of by some of our benefactors. Is there anything that anybody would like to make sure to have on this trip?
I think I would be very casual.
Cool. Sounds good. Some shorts, I
Michael's
a bit hot over there.
Michael's going to make sure, just double check on the ground. He'll be able to get armored and armed, which he should.
That you would be. Okay.
Yeah, I got nothing. It is
Also a bit casual.
pack a bag. Yep.
Rory would just be bringing a very large number of books.
Make sure you bring a step down. I'll bring one, but don't think just because you have a converter, you can plug in an electric device other than a computer. You don't want to plug 110 to 220. Does just bad.
What I mean, we could always just. I mean, worst case scenario, I could always fly back and get something with AA batteries or whatever, right?
You're just going to fly back over the Atlantic Ocean?
Well, I don't know about like all the way, but I mean, come on, these plugs are nice, right? Most people probably use them.
No.
Why
It's
not?
fine. We have the stuff.
Okay, fine, whatever.
We still use feet and inches in this country. Like, we're all sorts of backwards here.
Why would you not use them? They're perfectly
natural
good body
organic.
parts. Everybody's got them.
Only country to ever put a man on the moon and bring him back. But yeah, if you plug anything but your computer or cell phone into the 220, even with the converter, unless you have a step down unit, it'll fry it. So just check with one of us before you plug in anything.
Would that be good for cooking then?
No.
Okay. Fine. All right. I'll bring the converter then. I don't know what one looks like, but I'll find one.
Before you plug in and just talk to me. I'll make sure you're good.
Otherwise, if a certain dragon expert would like to come on this trip, he is welcome to, since he was able to see to some of the discoveries that were made.
I would be honored to. I'll probably stay back and let you guys contact me by phone if anything happens. But I'll come to Istanbul with you and be in the area, so at least all in the same time zone.
Oh, we've got the hotel.
It's a little past my days of being in the field. So.
That's fine. From what I was talking to her about, it seemed like Elle had a few. Why did I just?
Rose?
It seems like Rose had a few leads in the area as well, and was going to be working to coordinate them from back in the room. And hopefully, I don't think we'll be running into anything too scary if we're just going to be prancing about looking at caves for a while.
Yeah, I wouldn't
Unless
plan on
we
that.
run in-
I would absolutely not plan on that.
Why? I mean, look,
We
I'm
already
just
know-
saying, how many times have we actually found something scary like out in the wild? Like,
Many times.
no,
Do you remember
like,
the whole fungus thing?
well, sure, but that was like because of a big building, right, where they were chopping
And
up the friends.
The guys who almost killed you in the last couple months,
Well,
they were
yeah,
looking
that
for
was like a
dragons, right?
warehouse thing. I'm just
They
saying.
were looking for dragons, so they could be here. If they're trying to track down the same dragons, they might show up here. So we need to be ready to meet them.
I worked so hard to find this, and the science man also worked so hard to find this. I think that
Just
we're doing
saying.
quite well, and we're ahead of the game on this one.
I think we are ahead of them, but let's just not. Let's consider the possibility they could catch up to us. So they could be following us.
They might have another one of them fighting statue things.
Do you think they could load that onto a plane?
I think you can
No.
load damn near anything onto a plane.
The
They're pretty
dragon though could have some sort of guards to scare off people it doesn't want to deal with.
That too.
Or
I guess
or
I'd
it's a
probably
dragon,
have guards.
and it eats the people who want to bother it.
It could
I
do
did
that as
do
well.
that one also. Yes. Okay, fine. All right. Less excitement now, a little more fear, but we're rolling with it. We're doing the thing. What if they don't like me? I'm not saying this in like an insecure, like, teenage crush kind of way. I'm saying this in like I've kind of been working for people, mostly against my will and recently on purpose, for quite a while. And I don't know how this particular dragon is going to react to something like that. And I also don't know if we have a way to plan for that other than Tom punches it harder than the rest of us can.
I hope that's not our plan. Is that our plan? Is our plan for us to fight the dragon?
I think that's plan B.
That should be like plan D, and it should be.
Pitch me on.
I feel like it's plan B. I feel like it's plan B.
Uh,
I think plan A is for you to talk to him. Let's stop. I still think we shouldn't refer to it as an it because that might be offensive.
That's fair.
It seems
I'd
to
say,
be suggested that it's a male, but these things are a bit inconsistent.
Well, but
I don't know.
if someone called you he, would that be more offensive than if someone called you it?
Yes. No, actually, it is dehumanizing.
Exactly.
No, I
Well, we're not-
agree with you.
Yeah, I'm just for Rory. So, but and this is a legitimate possibility. He might not consider Rory a true dragon since he's been controlled by humans for so many centuries.
yeah, last time I fought a dragon, it went okay, but I was also being steered by a big old vengeance ghost. So I don't want to necessarily assume that I can do that again.
I don't think we would, even if it goes to combat, I don't think we need to kill it. If we just show it that it might be worth talking to us.
I'm also not sure that fighting me is really indicative of fighting a fully fleshed dragon which has had time and space and freedom to master its abilities.
It's a good thing I wore this fireproof denim material that they advertised at the sporting goods store.
It also hasn't slept for centuries while the rest of your kind has. Would it be susceptible to being put to sleep by magic?
Or at least of being extremely grouchy.
Maybe it's tired and therefore a little bit weaker.
We should feed it some more milk.
Yes, possibly
Him
some
some
non-caffeinated tea.
Worst case scenario, at least according to some books, I could always disguise myself as a pretty princess and then infiltrate.
Did they
You
eat
need
the
you need
princess?
a tower.
I don't know. Usually not. Usually that doesn't happen by the time the knights show up. And what do you know? We have Mike.
Well, yeah, but then he eats the mic.
Then we're fucked.
I like the warm milk plan.
Right.
It's like an old lullaby, warm milk. Let's just try that.
I think the key is we present ourselves as being strong but not threatening. So he at least listens to us. If we go in there and try to intimidate him, it could go very badly. Even if we can defeat him.
I mean, we shouldn't intimidate him. We're looking for answers. Looking for answers that he knows. We should maybe be nice and see.
Supplicants, essentially.
He's contacted you already, right, Rory?
No, well, I mean, I was contacted about him. I was contacted by a third party in this, who's maybe in the coin, maybe in my head, maybe somewhere else entirely, beating my head like a drum while I'm in the coin.
Did you get a name by any chance?
I was a bit distracted, but I don't think so. I don't think so, right?
I didn't either.
Yeah, I was thinking back on that like a DM.
No,
I'm pretty sure I didn't get a name on that. If I did, I didn't take very good notes.
Could you go back and take a nap and like ask it to help?
Maybe. I don't know. The last times that this happened was after something big and traumatic was going on with the blue spell and the nearly dying and getting my arm ripped off. But then again, those are the only times I've been in the coin recently. You know, thanks, Edith. That was genuine. That was not in a, thanks various presidents type of way. I can try. We got till tomorrow morning.
I'd say why not?
Okay. We'll give it a shot. You got control of that one. Anything you specifically would like me to ask if I can get through?
What can we bring as an offering? To
That's
show
not a bad idea.
Not like here to kill it. Him, her, kill them. What is this thing's name?
The closest I have found is Damek was used several times. That might be a name, might be a title.
Well, no, but I was saying ask it. Ask him.
Oh, yes. Mm-hmm.
Your contact.
Yes. Oh, no. That makes more sense.
Because if we found Damek through research, someone else could. It's less likely someone would know the name of whoever's contacting you.
Okay.
I think.
All right. I guess I'll take a nap. Maybe the rest of you should do so as well, because flights happen at frankly absurd times.
I'm happy to take a nap. Naps are good.
I guess I'll see you on the other side of my coin. Hope I don't die.
Oh, I hope you don't die either. Don't die.
All right. Ready when you are, Edith.
You do it, whatever.
I think that is a perfectly acceptable way to trigger the energies of the coin, to draw Rory inside of it. I think this is the first time that you've ever actually summoned him to that voluntarily since you've been on good terms with him. And he would once again find himself in that quiet little void, which is mostly blank, except for a little spot that he can reformat to various means, usually taking the shape of like a desk or a bed or a bench or something like that. Reaching out through his consciousness and putting out feelers, he would attempt to make contact. And DM, I will go ahead and let you determine, since that is your character, whether or not it begins.
As the runner of this adventure, you let me know if you want to make contact with him.
I would like it to be consistent with the character is firmly established, and I will roll with it if so. But
yeah, I mean, you're not alone in there,
Mhm.
and you can reach out and try to make contact if you'd like.
Hello? Anybody here still?
Voice would kind of like boom around you. Spending more time here than you have been of late, aren't you?
I've been getting my ass kicked more lately than is typical. I like resting outside of the coin more often.
Of course. What's really happening is the noise of the real world is making you grow further deaf to the silence in this one.
Yeah, I've never exactly been comfortable or acclimated to silence myself.
I don't like it in here any more than you do.
Yeah, oh my god, I've got so many questions. How long can we keep this up? How long are we able to stay in contact for?
However long you want to stay in here, boyo. It's
Okay.
my home and it's yours, and I'm not going anywhere. Although I'm hoping you'll do something about that.
Okay, all right, yeah, I'm working on the whole getting you out thing, but okay. Firstly, do I have something to call you?
Depends on who's asking.
Well, me and my friends. Does it bother you if they know?
No, it depends on who's asking, young blood. Zararan Dragon, one of the Warden peoples, asking, or is the red-headed crown wearer person impersonator? Do you speak our tongue anymore, boy? Do you feel its rumbles? Can you make the sounds?
It's been a long time.
I know it has. I've been there. Boy, have I.
Okay, so you are absolutely a dragon then. You're
The last I checked, would be curious to see if it holds up when I taste free air again.
all right. I may not know how to say your name, but I'd still like to hear it.
My name is Orgrudish, but you may call me Roderick.
Rory would ponder that for a moment. I'm gonna get back to you on that first bit, but Roderick, okay, we're doing what you said. We're searching out the one who stays awake. And I need to know, do you know this person yourself, or do you just know of them?
I merely know that they exist, unfortunately.
Okay,
Whoever
so
the warding
how
people...
to...
Oh, say again?
So you wouldn't know anything specific about how they should be approached then?
Well, the one that the warding people selects not to slumber is usually of a strong internal and moral fiber. Usually one of the people who does not, how to say, despise the world out there and the small fleshlings who run around running it.
Okay, so we can at least probably expect not active malice then.
It would have been an interesting choice for your kind to elect as the wakened one, a malicious sort. It's not to say we've never done it. It would be interesting.
Okay. And is there anything else I should know other than being just generally respectful if I can track him down?
I would be very wary of the circumstances under which you're trying to make contact, if I'm reading the situation appropriately.
I don't know if there's an official way to go about it.
Aren't you under
a
attack?
legend to follow.
Think, Boyle. Aren't you under attack? Is it safe to be one of your kind in that day and age out there? Or are you just losing arms because you're a shit hunter?
I am good at fighting.
Aye, I believe you.
Okay.
Not helping you stay healthy, though, is it? Dangerous times. Do you know how a dragon lasts for thousands of years without the sleep, without a haven, without the wards? He's tough as nails. Knows when to fight and when to melt away into the shadows. Knows how to handle the fleshlings when they get uppity.
All right. Be nice. Don't expect a murderous psychopath. And don't be uppity.
Maybe be wary of the fact that the last several people who've sought to make his acquaintance have probably tried to kill him, like.
Fine.
I answered your questions, Boyle. I got one of my own.
All right, go ahead.
You whelp.
What? A whelp?
Drakeling, whelp, wormling, child.
Well, I don't know. How do you bloody quantify that?
You've been in here for thousands of years. But
not quite two, like one and, like 3/4.
You don't speak like us. You don't carry yourselves like us. Who blooded you, whelpling?
My mom's name was Dorian. She...
Really?
You know her?
Yes, I do. That is a name that I have not heard in a very long time.
Mm-hmm. Big, ghostly white, very good at, giving people lectures.
Is that how you remember her?
Yeah, up until she was gone and I never saw her again. After I fucked up royally.
You fucked up royally. You are a whelpling. You don't even speak like we do. How can you fuck up, boy? You're an apex predator. You're the top of the food chain. You're immortal. You're sword-proof. Your skin can't be cut. You breathe primal fire. You did what you wanted to do and it had consequences, maybe, but fucked up? Are they domesticating you out there, lad?
You don't know. You don't know what I did. You don't know the consequences it had. For her. For me.
Let me guess. Murderous wrath. The fleshlings deciding to declare a blood feud, pursue vengeance till the ends of the earth.
I was the first of my clutch to hatch. The rest were still taking a while. Would have been coming along soon. Through my own incompetence and willful stupidity. Villagers found the nest and they proceeded to kill all of my brothers and sisters.
They winnowed your clutch, you say.
And the only child that Dorian had left was responsible for the destruction of what, to my understanding, would have been the only clutch she'd ever have.
And you're distressed by this.
I just figure that if she is still around, and I have reason to think that she is, that she'll be quite cross with me.
And you feel sad. You lost your brothers and sisters.
I don't know. Never know them, but I did ruin my relationship with my mother. I destroyed a chance for a lot of us to live, and I ruined my own life.
She should know better. She should know better, Boyle. She's lucky you didn't destroy the eggs yourself when you came of size.
I think I've had enough of this conversation for now.
Can I give you a piece of advice if you're going to go meet another one of our kind? We don't share us, boy. We own the world. We own what's in it. We own what is set upon it. It belongs to us because nobody can take it away from us. We're big, we're strong, we've got lots of teeth, and our breath burns the materials that they construct their dwellings off of. Walk astride this land like the Titan you are, and you'll have the respect of our people. Age, young, old, ancient, baby, no one cares. But I'll tell you, you keep adopting this, I'm sad things that would have competed for me for a horde died. I miss my mummy. I have friends and their small squishy fleshling creatures. Well, people are going to start looking at you like you might have suffered a brain injury. Might be afraid you've gone soft.
Gone soft.
What would you do? What would you do if the waking one tried to kill your leash holder? Did you defend her? Did you kill him?
I'd fight him.
Aye. Why?
Because she's one of mine.
You're goddamn right. And when someone tries to take something that's yours, you burn them. Tooth and claw. That's how our people speak. That's our language, boy. And if no one taught you that, I'm gonna.
All right.
That's a boy. You know you look like him.
Who?
We'll save that for next time we speak.
You're right, shit.
100%. But fucking with you is about the only way I can exert any power in here, and I'm getting hungry.
Hey, Death! As he tries to knock on the void to do his best to get attention and be released again.
Tooth and claw, Rory. Tooth and claw.
Rory would materialize again outside of it. I don't like him.
I hereby give you permission to just go in and out of this thing without asking me.
I don't know if I even can.
Really?
Unless I'm like dying. I don't know. I mean, I could try, but I don't want to do it right now.
Well,
It's making fun of me.
What are we supposed to bring this thing?
Don't be a dick.
I feel like we knew that one.
It wasn't that helpful. But okay, all right, nice piece of information. He probably won't be a dick, like, you know, without cause, at least. If he's a dick to us, it's gonna at least feel justified on his part. He's probably been selected, probably, because he doesn't have major dick tendencies.
Major death tendencies?
Dick tendencies. He's probably not a right arsehole.
Okay.
Also, Rudrick, that's the other person in the coin. I should have asked why in the coin, but I didn't, because he was making fun of me.
Well, we can't have that.
No, I was offended, and I am going to kick anyone's ass if they screw with you, Edith. I'm going to do that. I'll kick the shit out of him. I'm going to go take a nap now.
Okay.
All right. Good night. Love you, friends. You're all great.
I mean, it is morning, so we do need to go to the airport.
Oh, shit. How long was I bloody in there?
Wow.
Oh, my God.
Well,
and by morning... Coin. Why? I hate that coin. Screw leprechauns.
Maybe
I think we can all drink to that.
Yeah.
Screw leprechauns and gremlins.
Oi, two worst things that we've encountered so far, not counting individual and particular wizards.
Yeah, there's like and stuff breaks.
Mm-hmm.
You haven't even encountered a gremlin for like since that one time.
They smashed up our cool car.
Some wounds never heal; they just scar over. And
It was a real cool car. All right, do we have that one Uber guy still?
The one Uber guy. There's only one Uber guy who drives in this neighborhood at like 2 in the morning.
Who drives the black limousine that Rory likes?
I do like that
Your
one.
name.
Also, I'm pretty sure we're operating on the church's dime for this one, so. In any case, you guys are able to secure a ride to the airport. Overall, it is a private flight taking off from the public Wealdport Airport. I believe it had a name that I'm not going to look up right now. And customs and everything goes fine. I can only presume that our good friend brought along just like a million documents and stuff and treatises and notebooks in which to take copious information down on our trip. Let's see.
Oh yeah.
I'm very good at putting my notes down in a place where I don't know where to find them. All right.
I have a fanny pack.
It is approximately an 11-hour flight, I think. Judging by one thing I looked up, or at least maybe that was the connecting flight. It might be longer than that.
I was going to say 11 hours from Seattle area sounds short.
There should be a stop somewhere across the Pacific, right?
Flight. And then, either a stop in New York or a stop in, like, England.
Do you think it would go that way and not, like, over by Japan or something?
No. It would go east. Yeah.
All right, going east.
Trust me.
Yeah.
The Pacific is big, and then Asia is also.
Asia is quite large, though I mean, Turkey is still technically Eastern Europe.
But not that easy.
Not. It's not even as east as Russia for sure. Yeah, no.
It's where Asia starts, really.
It's like it's right on the edge of it.
Yeah.
So you could go either way with Turkey. Anyway, the flight is long regardless. There is probably a connecting flight, we'll say in London, where there is an opportunity for Rory to point at a bunch of people and be like, see, they speak right here. Why don't y'all speak right? I don't even know what happened in the colonies that made you speak like this.
If you ask them, they'll tell you are speaking wrong. So, and trust me, it's not good to be Irish in England.
Oh.
Well, look,
in fairness,
I'm just saying.
A group of Irish people, they seem to be burning a pub as we speak. So,
I think they're doing pretty all right here myself.
Well, guys, were we supposed to, like, Rory's saying we're speaking wrong? Were we supposed to have, like, cover? Were we supposed to blend in?
Your voices are just supposed to be a lot cooler.
Cover into your voice.
Y'all sound
on this plane, and I'm tired. I could use a kip, yeah.
Tom,
see, that's better, right? I'm just saying, you're saying bloody nasal, like you got something in the back of your throat.
They're always after me, Lucky Charms.
All right, now we're going a bit far.
Always.
Anyway, I think our next flight is up. That might be the flight that takes about.
I tried.
I
deployed the tools that were available to me.
Yes, but it was on a project that nobody asked for and also nobody needed.
Everyone says show initiative. I tried to show initiative.
No one has ever said that on this show ever.
Rose thinks I should show initiative.
She just sort of nods and smiles happily, trying to not get in a fight.
I mean, that's fair.
She passes out on your arm during the second flight. knowing that she has a handful of things to look up regarding some of her like latent power, which there are some interesting books on in the area, and which our expert also has some information on. Once we touch down, we get to an airport, and we are informed via microsleeving a text that we are to meet a contact who has been briefed of our identities and given our descriptions, who will be meeting us around the area of the Sultanamet Ajami, or the Blue Mosque.
Lovely.
Mm-hmm. It is, of course, a beautiful and very old city, some of the structures dating back to before the Ottoman conquest, but many things from even past that, around the area of like the 1400s through the 1600s. Large, beautiful, stunning, opulent architecture, lots of beautiful colors. Most of it is very modern, but it is juxtaposed against a lot of ancient beauty. And just looking out over the various harbors and everything is, of course, stunning. The Blue Mosque itself is the second largest tourist structure in the city, behind the Hagia Sophia. And, I'd encourage anybody watching along with us, or any of our players here, to take a look at it. It's a truly beautiful structure. And as we're wandering about and Rory is pointing out various things, getting kind of psyched up, like, when it was all like Rome and stuff here, I never got to come. I like these guys though. They put round buildings in. Rome had some round buildings. I went there once. That was pretty neat. But like, I don't know, these guys really know how to make a building good and round. It's cool.
More room to decorate, it looks like. There's more room to put like art and shit on it.
Oh yeah, in Rome they do have some cool like nice round roofs though. Mike's church friends made some really cool paintings on those. Saw them when I did go to Rome. It was neat.
It's amazing.
Your Catholics got cool buildings too. Didn't want to not say that, Mike.
And we actually have paintings on the inside because we can decorate them.
Oh,
you don't see any.
Right.
We don't see any images inside a mosque. So just saying.
All right, throwing shade at the ancient Ottoman Turks, I guess.
They do literally have just like poetry covering every wall.
This is fascinating.
Nothing.
You guys realize our city's been there for like 250 years. And this city's been around so long that a whole bunch of like historic world empires have possessed it, and they're all gone. All of them.
Bloody older than me.
Like, when you think about it, it might be that more people died defending or taking this city than have ever gone to our university. Or
almost certainly.
That's fascinating. You know what? I bet you Thomas Hemwick was on here. Huh?
That's a terrible metric for things.
I'm not saying it's a good thing. It's just impressive.
Yes. It's
a lot of people have gone to Wealdport University. Quite a few.
It's bigger. It's just bigger than what we're from. I bet you the original Thomas never came here. I bet you. On account of he didn't really go many places.
If he sort of exists anywhere still, hope that made him smile some.
Yeah. I mean, from everything I've heard, he was a bit of a dick, but I still hope that it did.
Yeah, I know. Like, I don't know, probably sucks. But a lot of people suck.
That's fair.
Still would be nice if they saw cool stuff.
It's just, I don't know, it's perspective. And think about it. Had we not done what we did in our 250-year-old city, then this place would have been destroyed too. So.
And from behind you, a voice says, "And don't think we aren't grateful. as you turn to see a Turkish gentleman with a very finely groomed goatee, wearing a suit and tie, and a pair of sunglasses, and his hair slicked back as he extends his arm to each of you in turn.
Oh, he looks so cool.
My name is Emir Aydin. It's a pleasure to meet you.
Is this just how people dress here?
Well, not most of the time, no, but for important business meetings from foreign nationals here on exciting business, yes.
Edith
Pleasure to
looks
meet
down
you.
with her, like college hoodie and jeans and is like, I am so underdressed.
Pleasure to meet you, Mr. Adim. Did I say that right? Edith's rather direct. But
No. I find it refreshing. I find people in our business tend to tiptoe around things with those who do not have the full context of events firmly planted in our minds. I have been so fortunate as to have been told a great deal about all four of you. I imagine there was not the opportunity to learn quite so much about me. And admittedly, that suits me just fine. The most important thing for you all to know at the moment is I believe I may have secured some information which might be helpful, as well as transportation, if you wouldn't mind following me.
I feel so important.
He directs all of you in the way of like a limousine, where he opens the door and holds it for everybody to step inside.
Well, this is fancy. Wait, who is our contact here and why are we getting toured around in a limousine?
I'm not a member of the order. However, I am an associate. I am merely a scholar of such things and a practitioner of some arts I feel that several of you are familiar with. I do my best to stay on good terms with those in the know.
Fair.
And I do my best to provide them with information where necessary.
He's talking ass kicking.
Quite. Do, by the way, give my regards to the surviving Grayson brother when you should happen to see him. We only met once. He seemed a bit uncouth, but perfectly acceptable as a wizard.
I'm going to tell him you said that exactly. That's what I'm going to tell him.
I'm checking out this limo before I even get in. Is it armored?
It has, you would know better than I do what constitutes appropriate protections and modifications.
I've worked with armored vehicles before.
But I would say that it is...
Tell pretty easily.
Yeah, I would say that
open.
It would be the sort of vehicle that you would give to a dignitary or someone of political import.
Like a State Department vehicle?
Yeah.
Okay, so yeah.
Yeah.
Mr. ID, would you mind if I rode up front with you so we can talk?
Oh, I was going to sit in the back of you, actually.
I'm sorry, there's a motorcycle driving by. I couldn't hear you.
Yes, they're quite loud. Really, these things, they should move the streets further away from these sites of historical import. No, I was going to sit in the back with you, actually. I had quite a bit to say.
Of course.
You'll all join me. Can I offer any refreshments?
Do you have coffee?
No, but I could get it.
Then yes.
It's actually...
Edith, have you ever had Turkish coffee before?
Yes.
Real Turkish coffee or American Turkish coffee?
No. Our friends at Baba Jaba understand what Turkish coffee is, and they got it for me. They have some friends over here. It is delicious. I had 6 today.
They took it very seriously. When they brought it out, they were all like,
Well, I'm glad to know you're already accustomed. See if you wouldn't mind swinging by that little boutique just up the road. They do make a stop and get coffee, as Rory requests to those behind the bar any pink ones they might have. They grow rather confused.
You're not going to be
They
happy,
give
Rory.
him a kefir, like a strawberry kefir, and are like, "Here you go."
Doesn't taste like coffee, but I do like it.
It does not. It is baby alcohol.
I do like this though. You know, like Ireland has the best whiskey, but America and this place, they've got better colorful ones, and I do like colorful ones.
I just like bitter stuff. I don't know why. I don't know what this says about me.
I don't know. Maybe you have to balance out all that sweet. You're the only one of us with like a functional relationship.
I want to know what Mike's order at the Istanbul coffee shop is, because he
Turkish
never
coffee,
orders
too.
coffee. Oh, just
I
Turkish
drink
coffee.
coffee.
Okay.
I just don't drink the fancy coffee with the eight
no.
tablespoons of sugar and the foam cream and everything.
Nobody's got time for that.
He's like, I'm judging all of the basic.
Okay, so back in the
Limousine. Yeah.
vehicle.
Mm-hmm. Mr. Ideen looks to each of you in turn and says, "Before I begin, do you have any questions for me?"
Where are we going? Also, do we have an offering to bring this thing? Also, I think I'm jet lagged, so those are the only two questions that are at the top of my brain.
One other thing, there are other forces looking to hunt down and kill dragons. I don't know if you have any intelligence about that, or if you've any notion of activity of them around this area.
From what I understand, the vast majority of their strategic forces have been active in the United States recently. However, I'm not unfamiliar with such things. Getting a true understanding of this group or any information which you yourselves do not possess is frustratingly difficult, as they are not decentralized, and anybody who I have managed to get my hands on who hasn't quickly disposed of themselves has known very little.
Wait. People you talk to just like go off themselves?
Yes, that tends to be the way with shadowy criminal organizations hell-bent on some goal of nearly religious import. These
Simon,
people are very passionate about their goals. I can respect their devotion, even if I think that they are horribly misguided.
These people being
The dragon hunters.
generic dragon hunters. Cool.
Well, not quite so generic. I understand they share a network, even if their methods and iconography differ quite a bit. But I do know, based on your reports, that you have encountered, shall we say, the cream of the crop there. The
Statue?
The statue was pretty badass.
yes, and also the ones with the archaic weapons, spikes, shards.
Yeah.
Unpleasant people with, shall we say, abrasive personalities.
They suck. They were treating me very nicely, and then they left me in a room with a murderous statue, and I'm not feeling so charitable anymore.
I've not been given as many details as I thought, apparently.
Why are they this isn't a sport thing. This is an existential existence thing for them, right? Most of them?
They sure seem
I would
to
say
believe
that they are driven in a way such that it defines their existence. There is fanaticism there. There are many, I imagine, would view it as a matter of life or death, and there are those who perhaps understand that it is not their existence on the line, but would still find it the goal of their lives to end the existence of these magnificent creatures entirely.
And do we think that we're like actually the only people who know where this thing is, or is this going to be a mummy situation where we end up at the temple with a bunch of jerks?
A Brendan Fraser film.
Yes.
Well, I don't know. It's not like I have tabs on everybody entering my country, but
It was a good movie.
yes, I did quite like the sound effects. I don't know really if anybody else is on your tail. All I can tell you is that I am the only person with this. And he pulls up a packet of papers stapled together. These are scans from my own private library. They are from the translated and transcribed private notes of the Emperor Arcadius. He was the first emperor to rule over the Byzantine half of the Roman Empire after the split which occurred at the end of the reign of his father, Theodosius I.
Fancy.
And it is the clearest indication we have received of precisely who you are looking for. Admittedly, it sat in my collection for a very long time, with some passing mentions to ancient arcane rituals and such, and describing various things which I might have been able to follow up on, but I had no reason to assume that the fate of the world was going to hinge on it. And I'll just be honest, there are only so many things of great cosmic import, which one finds in my line of business, which one has the time to follow up on. It seems I judged incorrectly in this case. That said,
I sympathize greatly with that. I encounter that problem all the time.
That said, once my people and I got to work on it, I believe that I've at least encountered the approximate area where you might be looking. It will be up the coast quite a ways. Unfortunately, I don't believe we'll be able to travel the entire way in such style and opulence. We'll probably need something a bit more off-road to get to the areas of the coast that we need. And then, following that, well, have any of you had any diving experience?
I don't need to breathe.
Yeah.
Oh, good. We learn something new every day. You really are impressive. If you are ever at a point, Mr. Thomas, some of the reports called you regular Tom. That felt a bit rude.
No, it's okay. It's a gesture of affection, I think. Right, Rory?
Oi, bloody regular Tom. He's the best one. Regular Tom. Better than any of the other adjective Toms.
The best Tom.
That's
many.
true.
All right. I really would love to get a chance to converse with you about your nature and such things, if there should ever be a time that all of our existences don't hinge on finding dragons.
Of course. Yeah, I talk, I don't breathe. It's all good.
What depth are we going to?
Not particularly deep, thankfully. This...
Is it like the submarine that just visited the Titanic? Because if so, my answer is no. We're just going to send Tom down.
My resources are extensive. I don't have the foolishness to try and devote them in their entirety towards building a submarine, and I can assure you, if I did, it would be substantially more secure.
He seems like the Turkish James Bond here seems like the kind of guy who would build a rockin' submarine. I'm just going to put it out there. If he has a submersible vehicle, I trust it.
Turkish James Bond. Thank you, I think.
I'm utilizing the cultural, what is it that Rose says? I'm utilizing the cultural milieu available to me to understand my surroundings.
You know James Bond is British, don't you? I'm aware I speak British English.
Yes, but the suit and the gadgets and the I'm always in control.
I suppose I do have a few fun toys lying around. I don't know if any of you would like to actually read this. He puts the packet out and a little table in front of you all.
Edith, Mike, you should read
Dr. Ridley immediately snatches it up.
Yeah.
that. Or him. I have no
He's
objections.
I hope you'll understand the personal hit to my pride I am taking sharing this. I am aware of the import of things, but it is very bad business in my line of work to go about sharing one's arcane secrets.
Well,
all I'm saying is I deserve at least a few thank yous and a very good word put in with the Order of St. George.
You can have both.
Thank you.
I will sing your praises loudly and proudly, sir.
We could also probably introduce you to Gerald, who I'm sure you would get along with great.
And they would say you were too direct, as if you were somehow rude. I quite like this woman.
So the dive, that's have you ever dove before?
I have, though admittedly not particularly deep and not in archaeological conditions. This is going to be a somewhat unique circumstance. To the best of our understanding, the area in which we are to be exploring was once shielded from the ocean itself. There would have been a naturally occurring cove, perhaps carved out by the sea, but walled off from it. Would have had some caverns which would have stretched for a while. But at one point, they were no longer so. I had to rely on a few pieces of second-hand sonar equipment in order to find what was described in these passages by the Emperor as a place of solitude where the Ancient One sat and contemplated. This was a fairly unique relationship. Obviously, the Emperor Arcadius did not have automobiles or anything of that nature, and it would have taken him several days outside of the city to reach this, even if it was not covered up by the ocean. This would have exposed him to several potential instances of unpleasantness upon the way, particularly given the turbulent political nature of the time. I can only say that I don't know exactly what we're going to find there, or you. I don't actually have to come along. As I said, I am not a professional diver by any means. But I don't think we'll have to go too low. And if I am to understand the nature of these documents correctly, I think that there may only be a short dive followed by a particularly well-preserved meeting place to arrive in.
Sounds awesome.
At least making sense of these things, especially in the context of someone from the 300s AD, is complex, as I'm sure you've encountered. But I believe that there are descriptions of things resembling wards here, which would keep the wetness out, keep the dust out, keep any sort of degrading elements which might affect various spells in such a way.
Will they keep us out?
How much harm do you intend?
I mean, sort of none, as long as it's not going to eat us. But then all of the,
Then I suppose that it will come down to the person who casts them's temperament.
The person who what?
The person who casts those wards' temperament. In this case, another ancient one. Well, we'd better hope he's not like me. I'd have set those things to at least, like, warp factor 8 or something. Am I Star Trekking right?
Well, yeah, that's speed. But I mean, in fairness, old stories do really just go a lot about smiting. So, yeah, he probably did.
Well, I hate to say it like this, but maybe Rory should go first, because if you were a dragon setting up wards, and you wanted to exclude anybody, the first person you'd exclude, I think, would be another dragon.
Could be.
True. If anyone was going to be harmed, well, I don't know if this is true. If you follow along with that, John, you will find that things ended under not quite so agreeable circumstances between the Emperor and his hidden advisor. At least, not violently, but uncomfortably. And afterwards, whenever he attempted to go back where he had found this person, there was only water. It's possible that he, at this point, wished to keep humans out of his lair. Or it is possible that he wished to keep rival dragons out, though there would have been little cause to. The last over a millennia now.
I mean, could the wards have worn down? That's a possibility, right? They get old.
If he's not maintaining them.
Cool. Fair.
I mean, I can also give it a shot just to see what happens. I'm hard to kill.
True.
Yeah.
I would be interested to see what the ward would be like that would kill you. Not that I would be anxious to witness your death, of course, but it would be at least academically stimulating, certainly.
Well, I mean, in fairness, he's almost died several times. He mostly regenerates pretty quickly, which is weird.
And yet he still sits here in front of me. So,
yeah.
I understand you've had this experience at least once yourselves.
We've all almost died, yeah. Well, actually, some of you guys did.
Yeah, we've all died at least once.
Potentially twice, depending on how one views time.
Yes.
I am still having my mind wrapping my thoughts around everything that occurred several months ago. And I just want to let you know that I have the utmost admiration for everything that you accomplished on your own. It is incredibly impressive. And the fact that several mostly amateur... don't know, what should I call you?
Entirely amateur. Scooby-Doos. I don't know.
Investigators? Would that be polite term for it?
That sounds way too official.
Scooby-Doos, then.
Mike, you're very professional. The rest of us, absolutely not. Don't even know.
Well, you know, I'm pretty good at it.
Yes, but you're also a dragon, so you...
I'm a dragon.
Yeah. It helped that we had a dragon, and it helped that I'm difficult to kill.
I can only imagine. There are, of course, natural advantages that someone such as myself can hope to catch. But all I really wished to intimate through all of this talk is that the threats that you've faced before were larger in scale, but I can't help feeling that this is a bit more delicate. Just tread lightly for all our sakes, will you?
That's all we tread.
No, it's not. We don't do it.
Edith.
I'm just being honest, okay? It's not
making me look uncool in front of the cool guy.
If he did his research on us, he knows that's not really our style. We're
don't
going to try.
Loud.
I didn't hear you.
We don't mean to roll loud. It just happens to us.
No, we do it. We're gonna take responsibility for our actions, Thomas.
While they're talking, Amir just pours Mike another coffee if it's desired.
Yes, we're taking responsibility for our actions. None of this happened to us.
Michael starts making a list of things he would like: wetsuits, weight belts, tanks, regulators, tack board, buddy line. Edith, you are staying buddy line to me, and you don't unhook until I tell you to.
I'm fine with that.
Understand?
Mm-hmm.
And I'll hop in and be a fish.
Yes. So only two of us really need to have tanks.
Doesn't Thomas need air?
No.
Really?
Correct.
God, that's bloody cool.
Space. Could we put you in space?
I don't know how I would handle the pressure change. We could try it. I mean,
Well,
if my head
vacuum is a
blows
little
up-
bit different than air.
Yeah, well, if my head blows up, maybe I can grow one back, but I'm not sure. So
Do you have like cells in the traditional sense, like the things that the air
He
gets?
has to because he's using a Thomas body.
I am, but my
But they
essence,
don't need air.
I do.
We'll
And
still
it
have.
regenerates.
You'll still have a set of tanks on, so if something happens, we can have a spare set of tanks. It's an easy.
Of course, I would be happy to tote around a spare set of tanks.
And I'm gonna have a Mark 46, so I have a good open bolt weapon when I come out of the water in case we run into the dragon hunters.
That sounds badass. Let's do that. Can I have one of those?
Is there anything besides
don't
the
need
equipment itself for the dive, which should be mostly seen to by those with more technical expertise than I have, that I can acquire for you? We'll be stopping by one of my facilities out of town.
How about a small bag of gold? Dragons like that, right? Like we could offer that. I'm just thinking it's
Is
an
that a
old
harmful
thing.
stereotype? Rory, is that a harmful stereotype?
It's
I don't know. I had
He
a
doesn't
crown.
know.
I liked it.
It's an old creature. This is an area where hospitality is valued, and I'm just trying to walk softly as you requested.
I'm not trying to shoot down your idea. Like brainstorming is great. My only issue with that is it could be seen as a cheap gift, maybe.
A
Maybe
bag
you're right.
of
I don't know.
gold? Isn't that usually what they just want?
If
Rory?
I
you're
think it might
sitting
be
on
getting
a-
offensive.
Isn't that part of what they want? That's horde lore. Yes.
I have a sample group of one.
Do you like gold, Rory?
I sure do.
Do
Okay.
you
See,
like gold coins? Do you want more?
No, I don't like gold coins.
Ah,
I feel like that's very specific.
I like most other things made out of gold.
what if we
I-
got this guy a gold crown?
Well, he's not getting
In
mine.
all honesty, I think if we maybe brought him something like an iPad, we'd have a dry bag we could throw it in. But he's been asleep, or not asleep, but he's been separate for hundreds of years. This is maybe the best portable example of what
You want
Things
to
are
let
like
him
nowadays.
use on the internet so that he can see Twitter?
I doubt he'll have good Wi-Fi access down there.
You know,
So
but
we
she's
just
right.
preload it with some.
We could put some movies on there. You're talking your Mamma Mia once. We're talking your Mamma Mia twos.
We'll
We're
carefully
talking-
select some movies and some, songs.
Your Michael Bay catalog. We're talking.
No,
That's pretty much it.
that
I like
that's-
Hugh Grant. Is there anything with Hugh Grant we can do?
Bridget Jones.
no, that doesn't have you. Does it have you?
I don't know. Haven't seen that one.
It's a touching romantic comedy about accepting oneself.
Sounds like
Maybe.
I like it.
Made me feel good. I enjoyed it. Rose thinks it's cute.
Yes. Well, I think we're about to the facility. All right then. An iPad and some
And a
gold bars.
or
Perhaps?
bar.
I can find gold bars. I don't know how to find anything else. Maybe some watches on short notice.
Ooh, I like the idea of a watch.
A fancy watch.
What about
I have some. Would you like this one? It was expensive, but if you think the fate of the world is on the line,
I don't know. It might be worth it. Sure.
I'd like it back if it isn't used.
Sure.
Sure.
It's Rolex.
Yeah.
Rolex, a timepiece.
If we can get some fresh baklava before we leave, maybe. I don't know.
Oh, yes.
I know
Yeah.
Rory likes that kind of stuff. It just
For the
local,
dragon.
local culture.
Sure do.
Somehow my brain heard caviar. I don't know why. Those are two entirely different things from two entirely different cultures. I was like, why do we want caviar? Oh, yeah, no, baklava is delicious.
Just because I have this accent doesn't mean that I like caviar. I don't know why anybody wants to eat fish eggs.
Oh, well,
They're
oh,
salty.
I said those thoughts out loud.
Oh, no. No. Sorry. You didn't have to.
It's fine. I mean, that's a very Edith thing to do. So sure, she said those thoughts out loud.
You guys roll up to like kind of a hangar bay type deal that he has outside of the city. Istanbul is quite a large city, so it does take a while. However, you find all of the diving equipment that you would need loaded up into a big old Hummer, as well as several firearms, other things that you might find necessary, as well as like several traditionally arcane ingredients that might work if combat was required against something that would be expected.
Rory, can you cast some sort of spell that would... Okay, all the caveats, I know the answer is yes, you can, but in the time needed, can you cast, like when Rose did, or you weren't there, it was inside her mind, but throw up a wall so we can get away if negotiations go badly and we want to try to come back later, but we don't want to...
You want an escape rope?
Or anything to slow him down without injuring the dragon, because we don't want to... If things start to go bad before he's trying to kill us, but just gets really upset with us, keep that in mind. I'm something like that. You're the wizard. You is that possible?
How's the best way to do this? I've never teleported like under my own power intentionally. From a place to a place. The most reliable way of doing this sort of thing is to set up a portal from one spot to another spot. And if you've been to both places, that's really the most reliable way to do it, if you can take your time with each end of it. That said, maybe, hey, Amir, do you happen to have any talent for, maintaining portals? It's certainly not my specialty, but I've done it. If you could anchor one, and I know exactly where it's going to be, and we take the time beforehand to perform this as a ritual and aren't doing it on the fly, then me doing some waggly finger bullshit on the fly would have a much better chance of finding the appropriate spot and getting out before we die. I think, probably, most likely.
That sounds like a good plan to me.
All right. I don't know, what sort of chalk do you usually use? Do you make it out of the bones of kings, or do you have anything resembling like do you use wax? Rory's just like, bones of kings is good. When I don't have access to Crayola, that is.
When do you have access to bones of kings, Rory?
I don't, but this guy's cool and I don't want to look lame in front of him.
she does that. The cooler you think they are, the more she's just got to twist the knife.
No, I will get to work. All right, we'll make the trip out there, set up, and I will maintain it well above ground that you can reach if you need. I suppose I'll stay up here then. Not
Probably best.
Probably. Less interesting, though.
Yeah, but we're
In
durable.
fairness, we almost die like every time, so
Yeah, well, that's a bit of a necessary rite of passage, isn't it?
yeah, but we do it like on a weekly basis. So I feel like we've rite of passaged it enough, and it just is now, a hazard.
I'll tell you what, you do this for long enough, you get people who almost die constantly for you.
That just seems rude.
Well, it does seem so at first. I've been wealthy for longer than I was not at this point. You lose touch sometimes.
You should make sure you wash a dish or something this evening then.
No, I think I might be, hopefully, a bit too busy washing off ancient pottery or something instead.
Bones of kings?
Well, no, that's going to be ground up and used for a circle.
Right. Which would be done by somebody else, not you, clearly, because you're rich.
No, that one I can do. I'm a rather good magician.
Oh, okay.
Yes. I won't be doing it in my best suit, mind.
You wouldn't just do it in like a shirt?
I know. It feels as if I should be dressed appropriately for the magnitude of the day, doesn't it? We might be about to make contact with a truly ancient being. We are beginning diplomacy with something older than any of us, at least if we're only counting you as yourself, Mr. Regular Tom, and even older than Mr. Flynn here. That's extraordinary. That's groundbreaking.
But you're not doing... Never mind. It's fine. You dress however you like to grind up the bones of kings. I approve of your choices, and I appreciate your help.
Something in an eggshell so that the dust doesn't show upon it. I believe that the vehicle will be ready to depart in a moment. Actually, if I might have a word, Edith, by ourselves.
Sure.
He wanders over with you off to the side. Says, I hope you don't mind me perhaps behaving a bit forward when I say that I'm familiar with your history. The reports given to me by the Order, Mike and others had taken these notes quite some time ago, and I don't actually know what you were comfortable having known by others in our sphere.
I figure most people know stuff that I don't want to... It's too much effort to care.
I understand. More than it's easy to say, really. I understand.
Why? Why is it more than it's easy to say? You should just say it.
All right then. No, I accidentally erased most of my loved ones from history through malicious gin.
Oh. I'm so sorry.
This is my second go around at life, actually. That entire reality doesn't really exist anymore. We're living, potentially, to some degree, in a world formed by me wishing for things, which, for all I know, could just end the moment somebody else finds a gin, but I try not to think about that.
Wait. So you're saying you're God?
I don't know. Only as much as you are.
Okay, but I haven't made an entire universe. That's like...
Did you not?
No.
You were responsible for reformatting this one, mostly the same, right?
No, I just was really rude to a deity, and he gave me the world back. Mostly intact.
So, a god gave you the world.
Well, no, not me. He just, like, put it back. I was like, put it
For
back.
you and a few of your closest friends.
Well, we were there.
And if you were not there, everyone would have died.
Right. I didn't make the world.
And neither did I. I
Sorry, your people
foolishly wished that things were different for me, that I was intelligent and suave and spoke 17 languages and was wealthy and talented and skilled and could do everything that I needed to do to have the sort of life I'd always wanted. And I lost everything else. And I, ever after, have devoted those skills to ensuring that no ordinary, everyday sorts of people have to have their lives intruded upon and ruined and torn apart by things outside of their control. And I just wanted to say that what you're doing is admirable, and
It's also the only thing I'm really allowed to do anymore, so.
yes, it is. That doesn't make it less admirable. I think that most people by now would have just collapsed under the weight of the whole thing, given up.
Oh, I do that periodically too. There's lots of coffee involved in keeping this sparkling persona just like.
Yes, well, never try cocaine. Really does stick, that one.
You know what? I used to have a person I could talk to for that, and I lost them. So, I think my window on that has disappeared.
Yeah, probably for the best.
Although, okay, but I'm just gonna say you never read a story about how wishing for stuff from Jinn just like always goes wrong. Like there
are quite a few cautionary tales, aren't there? But
there's not a single good one, sir.
There was the Disney film,
which is in this reality, so that was not a part of wherever you were.
No, it was. We had that. Most things are the same.
And wait, are we talking about the Disney film where Aladdin asks for all of the things that don't actually make his life better?
Yes, but they were pretty cool.
But they didn't make his life better.
There is only so much that one is able to do to convince themselves that their life is fine as is when their belly is empty.
That's fair.
I made the wrong choice. I did. I take responsibility for that, and there are not many people whom I can share that grief with. The fact that my life was stolen from me and I was not allowed to live it. And I probably would not have even told you if you had not so forcefully demanded so. But I
forcefully demand. How much can I forcefully demand from you, sir?
He blushes.
Noted.
I'm sorry. I believe I've gone and made this awkward.
Oh no, this is delightful. This is absolutely perfect.
What I was originally trying to say was, my responsibilities keep me rather tied up in this sector of the world, but if there's anything I can do or any favors you would need called in or anything I can do specifically to help you with your family or anything regarding that situation, I'd be happy to offer them.
I mean, if you have a way to track tiny little people who escaped from the Feywild and came back as potentially delusional monster killers, we know.
I don't know that I do, but I can find out.
Well, it's a long shot, and I don't go around making wishes, so
Don't.
I appreciate
Terrible
it.
idea.
Oh, I know. Yeah. She just like pats him on the back.
He tenses up there for a second.
It'll be. Actually, it won't be fine. It's probably going to end very badly. Most of us will probably die terrible deaths. But, well, this is the stuff they make movies about.
Yes, I'm sure that they'll cast very attractive celebrities for both of us.
Yes.
Oh.
Well, for you, I'm probably getting like a Deemy what's-her-face from Booksmart. But that works. She's great.
Worth seeing?
What?
Is it worth seeing?
Yes.
Perhaps should we all live? You can show me a film before you fly back off to punch more werewolves or whatever.
It's been a while since I punched a werewolf. I don't actually know if I got a punch in last time. It's fine. I did hit a fairy with a bus once.
That had to
And
be
almost
particularly
died.
satisfying.
In the bus. No, it didn't work, actually.
Oh.
You'd be surprised. I mean, I guess you probably wouldn't be surprised at how durable these things are, but, you know.
Can be. Depends on the Fae.
Well, just supernatural creatures in general. It's a wonder humanity is like, you know, humaning.
Yes, well, due to the hard work of people like you and I, and the less people who are still very, very skilled and helpful. I wish I could say anything encouraging from my end, like it'd get better or anything as well, but...
Yeah, no. If you did, I would probably drop this coffee in your lap, so don't even bother.
Yeah. All I can say is, let's keep not dying then.
I like where your brain's at, sir.
Mm-hmm. Back to business. Let's go get in a Jeep.
Woo!
Or
Now
a
we have a Jeep, Mike.
or a Hummer. All right. And you guys drive off out along the coast. There are a couple of other vehicles behind you as well. One of them has a few people who seem to be pretty well armed. You know, like guys with earpieces and assault rifles.
Nice.
Mhm.
Wait, are they like for us or are they just generically?
Yeah, like they're like
I'm not sure what like area of Istanbul we're going through. There are weird parts of
no, fair. No. These are his guys providing like support so that, you know, if you should get attacked by dragon slayers while up above ground, you know, you can shoot at them.
because that'll work.
I mean, it'll work on some of them. One of the guys that you thought was just a dude with trip mines
It's true.
is still out there somewhere with Chandra's boyfriend.
I think ex-boyfriend. She made that pretty clear.
That's
You
true.
know, she's
carrying water for
him.
him. She's carrying water for him, but she declared him as her ex-boyfriend.
Ex, but you know, holding out hope one day,
Yes.
maybe, perhaps, potentially.
Maybe he'll grow up.
Yeah, maybe he'll grow up and be.
Mayhaps grow shall he.
Or maybe he'll get himself blown up. That's actually more likely, statistically speaking. We all know this, right?
I agree. That does seem more likely. I mean, when one deals with that many trip mines, and what happens when I set off a trip mine is I go to break so that all of us can get some refreshments, use the bathroom, catch some fresh air or whatever
Lovely
ourselves and our
segue.
various
I
viewers need.
appreciate it.
Well, we will be right back, guys. If you are watching, you can skip ahead about 5 minutes. If you're watching this recorded, if you're watching this live, just come back in 5 minutes because that's how time works.
Or use a genie wish to skip ahead 5 minutes.
Don't use a genie wish to skip ahead 5 minutes. Break the universe just so you don't know.
Maybe you'll be rich and powerful. It'll be great.
Right.
All right, see you
We'll
soon.
be right back. Whoops, not oops. Boop.
There we go.
Well, there we go. Bye, guys. We'll be back 5 minutes. Hello. I know that was a few minutes longer than 5. Sorry. We are coming back.
Retroactively skip like 6 or 7 minutes past you if you yourself have access to time powers.
All right. Perfect. So we are in a Jeep on our way to certain doom underneath the water.
Yes.
Perfect.
A grave at sea. Well, just barely at the sea.
So many terrible jokes.
I would have loved to hear several of them, but I don't know. I've already maybe given us our quotient of swearing for the night.
I don't know. I mean, here's the thing. We're not going into like orca waters, so we don't have to worry about the Five Guys order.
Yeah, fair. I don't. How many whales are? I should know more about Mediterranean waters. Or like that general whole area is like.
Yeah, orcas are not in the Mediterranean for sure.
Yeah, definitely not. I wouldn't think so. Anyway,
They're not.
At least currently. Like, I mean.
And if they were, we would all be in big trouble.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sorry that you've ruined my big climactic fight against an orca this session. It was going to be a wereka, and it was going to be a guy. It was actually a mirror the whole time. Was the werorca? It was going to be great. We're going to pivot now, and I'm going to do this other thing, and I hope it's as good.
You know what they say about were creatures? They're dangerous. And I'm the worst one. Free freaking Willy. Let's go.
You guys have a little while to drive there. Anything you want to do or talk about on the way before you get to the site?
Yeah.
What was that? That face made me think that Chloe has something.
Edith.
No!
We're going to plan the dive and dive the plan.
I know. I'm going to do the plan.
Okay. Don't go off the plan when we're diving. Don't get killed by an AGE. That'd be a bad way to go.
I don't know what that is, but I did go diving once when I was 16. So.
Oh, is that because, like, the last time I went underwater, they tried to age me? Is that what we're talking about?
No, you get a bubble in your brain and you die pretty quickly, and it's a lame way to get killed.
Whoa, humans suck. Jeez, that sounds awful.
It is actually a wonder we are the dominant species on the planet currently.
Your spines don't even work right.
We
it's
also
walking around like this most of the
literally
time.
Just off giant, like huge percentages of our population.
I would say this about dragons. Like, don't get me wrong. I don't even know how our wings work most of the time. I'm pretty sure just magic, but we're put together, right? Damn it. Like arthritis, not a thing for me.
True.
Mm-hmm. But we don't have, like McDonald's. So, win some, lose some.
McDonald's is the one you're going with for the win some?
Yeah.
I like McDonald's. Have you ever had a McNugget?
Yes, but I have a human stomach.
I can eat like 30 of them.
Basically an immortal creature. So, okay.
The digestion part of it is probably easier for me.
Yep.
Chipotle also. Genius.
Next time you get chicken McNuggets, Rory, lay them out. You notice there are only 4 shapes.
Mm-hmm.
That should destroy your appetite for them.
I don't know. Is it like the Play-Doh things that they have for them?
Oh. Pretty much.
And the meat is actually Play-Doh'd.
Well, I don't know. It still tastes kind of good.
Can we even call it meat?
I don't know how people get around in this world without healing as fast as I do.
Is this really how you won't spend your time before life or death missions?
Chick-fil-A or Popeyes or KFC even?
This is how it typically goes.
This is
much.
Yeah. Absolutely.
No, I mean I'm not opposed. Just curious. Cool. Very good.
Well, I mean, you know what? Just the tearful goodbyes every 2 days got old.
No, of course that's reasonable. I guess when you do it, usually a bit solo, it's kind of like a little somber reflection going in. No, this is an improvement.
Yeah, I'm just trying, I find that for my personal zen, it's best if I just pretend like I'm not maybe about to get barbecued, because if I sit here going like, oh God, I'm going to get barbecued, it's going to hurt a lot, and I'm just going to get psyched out. And I almost feel like I speak the barbecuing into being, if that makes sense. I manifest it.
I figured when there was a teen, maybe it would be a bit more like the first few minutes of a Predator. That is one movie I have seen where they're all on the helicopter.
I'll grab your hand and flex. We can do that right now.
In a helicopter, you can't hear what anybody's saying anyway.
Do they have the little things on the helmets?
Yeah, we can all call each other sons of bitches. We can do it.
No. All right.
Rory, you son of a bitch.
Oi, you lame, ugly guy.
That's right.
Aye.
I find your appearance repulsive, but in a way that's compelling to me.
Yeah, you're all bad and nasty.
Yeah. Remember that time that totally happened where we did the thing that was totally awesome?
I remember going on a
probably make a more interesting movie.
I remember going on a rampage with you.
Oh, the rampage. Good times.
That was pretty good.
That was good times.
Well, I don't suppose if we don't need them, then those guys could loan me 2 of the assault rifles so I can hold them like this and
you're going to be a fish, Rory.
I'm going to be a fish. He's right. I could be a big fish though. Put him in my stomach.
Yep.
Be a tuna.
Okay, but
and tuna ate a gun.
Be a tuna.
Then how would you get it out of your stomach?
Yeah.
I'll turn into a bigger fish and vomit it up. I'll be a whale.
And then
the great thing about being a whale, and I've done it before.
Are you going to poop it out? Then
I'll just bleh.
You'll just
look. They got Pinocchio out
by lighting a fire inside of his belly.
I don't think it'll be quite that hard.
Monstro is the victim. I think that this is something that we can conclude.
He was just floating along, being a fish,
doing his thing. I mean, nature is grim, and he was just fulfilling his role in that ecosystem.
People do not have enough respect for apex predators.
They don't. No, they don't. Especially on the cosmological scale, because they make effigies of us and are like, "Oh, don't hurt us if we ask you not to," over and over for hundreds of years, and we're just people.
I'm sure it also loses its effect after a while.
You know what? Have you guys seen?
Happened to my dad.
Have you guys seen those videos of the white ladies who come across a panther in the wild and they're like, "Come here, kitty," or a bear and they're like, "I'm taking it home. It's so cute." We should just get a bunch of Karens and take them into the hold with us and see if they can just single-handedly confuse it into doing what we need it to.
If you're talking about those chicks who yell at Nat at the coffee shop when she gets their orders wrong, I'm totally ethically okay with using them as bait for the dragon.
That said, now, I actually would be fine if I went and got a cheetah kitten. I won't, because I understand that that'd probably be mean and it'd miss its ma. I know what missing your ma's like, but I could do it and it'd be pretty neat. And they purr. Did you know they purr?
I'm pretty sure they're also legal in this country.
Wait, big cats don't purr.
Oh, but cheetahs do. There's videos.
Cheetahs don't care.
I want an ocelot. It didn't work out great for Ellie,
They don't. Those ones don't. But cheetahs, bloody awesome. Also, have you seen a cheetah kitten? Bloody cutest thing. The eyes are half their head.
Pretty much all mammal young are cute.
Yeah, but
some biologists think
I looked at your human kids. Nothing compared to a cheetah. Nothing.
Also, human kids not cute. Human babies, they look like tiny squished potatoes.
Well, for the first few hours, but
they shriek like banshees
for many months.
Oh my god, I don't know what I looked like as a kid.
Probably not a squished potato.
Probably not. Probably a little tiny I don't know, do you think I was this big or this big?
I looked like a shard of broken glass, so I'm sure you were cuter than me.
You guys pull up to the diving site. As
Amir is just like, what have I done? These people are going to die, and I'm going to have to find new people.
begins setting up as like one of the jeeps unhooks a speedboat out from the back and starts putting that into the water for you guys to get a little bit further around a cliffside that these cars couldn't maneuver to.
Okay.
And he begins himself, Amir does, stepping off to the side of the beach and pulling out a container. Kings. And
Wait, what did he say? Oh, kings.
Mm-hmm. And spreading it around in a circle. And as he begins muttering under his breath, it glows faintly. If I might have Mr. Flynn's help, I believe that we can do this in about an hour, and I believe we'll be ready to go.
I'm doing my calisthenics here.
I get ready. Try to compress 8 to 12 weeks of dive training into an hour for Edith.
And just like, I swear I did this once on a vacation. I remember.
Below your slowest bubble when you're ascending. I assume we're using open circuit.
Yes.
Okay. Indubitably.
Yeah, Edith participates in the lesson and is mostly not paying attention.
Got it. Sounds good.
She's genuinely like, I'll just do what they tell me to do. I'm gonna have an earpiece in. I can
And setting things up does take about an hour. And as they finish up, and as a perimeter has been established up there, you do see like a thin golden thread almost vertically up and down in the center of that circle, where Amir says, right, I can maintain this from here. So you have the documents with you. If you should need to cross-reference them for anything. I cannot know what's happened since, 1,700 years ago or so. But I do know that you are about as qualified for this as anyone ever has been. And you have encountered stranger beings and ones less natural and endemic to this world. So, despite my brother Cavalier tone about all of this, I do trust you all. You've proven yourselves worthy of it. And good luck.
All right, let's go get barbecued. Let's go make contact.
Shotgun.
Everybody be nice.
be nice.
We're trying to resolve this diplomatically.
Oh,
I'll let you guys do most of the talking. It's just when the GERS and the fire starts, I'm just gonna go in there. We'll figure it out.
All right. You guys get taken out on a boat. The same driver from the limo brings you over there. He has a bit thicker of an accent, but he lets you know it's up by the cliffs, and we're going to be able to get you right up next to it. There's going to be a rock face to climb up onto that the boat cannot go over the top of, only about 4 feet high. And once you get onto it, you can hop down the other side of it and dive in. And also adds on a few other tips on top of what Mike would have said about how to use the suits and stuff.
Okay.
All right. And driving you out there, it would have just be pretty obvious that Rory's foot is like tapping away pretty violently. His face radiates that same sort of like shit-eating smugness that he tries to inhabit most of the time, but it is pretty clear that he's nervous about the whole endeavor.
It's gonna be okay, buddy.
Oh, yeah. Bloody golden it is.
You're not just one of them, man. You're one of the best.
Okay, in fairness,
We
Thomas is
say that.
probably defective by his species standards, which is unfortunate.
Why?
And also, I wouldn't know if I was one of the best.
No, you got to know you're one of the best because you know you're one of the best. Like that's the whole apex predator thing, right? You don't need to walk in there apologizing for yourself before you've even said 2 words to the thing. You're who you
Two
are.
things. You have a unique experience this dragon doesn't, and you've helped save the multiverse already.
Mm-hmm. That's right.
I don't think he can say that.
And dare I add, you have the power of friendship on your side.
Wow. Wow.
It had to be said. Somebody had to say it.
It's true though.
I'm probably
No.
wrong.
It's true.
No,
though.
no. I'm riding with that one.
Our friendship.
We got it. Can we make like special decoder rings?
Decoder rings
Oh,
I don't
that's
know. We
okay.
could make little messages
Yeah.
to each other, and
to
You know.
sing while we're fighting the dragon.
sure, why not?
I was going to suggest T-shirts.
Oh, what would they say if you made
Are
them?
wait, hold on. Are we saying this all as we're like diving?
No, we're saying as you're getting
We're
up
just
to
on
the
boat,
spot to
and the
dive.
boat guy is like,
Well,
what?
yeah. Well, y'all are getting ready. I mean, Thomas is just.
He's probably just over there like fucking
Get off.
Americans, man.
We're yelling this to each other if we're on a boat.
Yes.
Mhm. Let's get T-shirts that have "Power of Friendship" on them.
I refuse to wear anything that says "power of friendship."
You're
the
the
one who's
one
been
who
quoting it
brought
because say
it
quotation
up.
marks Edith.
No, if you
You're
wear
the
that,
one who brought it up.
I will burn it.
We should get
You in it.
special rings and do it like Captain Planet, where it's like heart, sarcasm, whatever the frick I have, sweetness, competence. By our power combined, we have friendship.
I'm going to get you a hat, Rory, that reads with power of friendship and make it out of Nomex so she can't burn it.
Oh yeah. Wait,
Sounds
there's
pretty fun.
more fabric you can't burn? Why do I not have that? Why did I not wear that on this trip?
Because you wanted to wear the other pants.
The only reason I got these shorts is because they said they were fireproof.
All that said, I look pretty good with my shirt off, and if somebody burns off of me and I'm completely fine, that's a hell of a way to show off for people.
I'm assuming we're wearing probably cheater vests with flight suits over top, so we're all wearing Nomex anyway, which is pretty handy when you're going up against a dragon. The
Hope
three
so.
of us.
I hope
And
so.
you guys arrive at that little rock bed. It looks like almost like there is if it was designed by a person, it would be like almost like a pool, but it's like leading into what seems like an almost unnatural like cave mouth down there and off to the side, about like 40-50 feet under the water.
Okay.
Okay.
All right.
Edith
So-
just flops off the boat.
Well, I mean,
We've gotta
she's tied to
climb up
Mike,
the
right?
rock
So he's
first.
got to like.
Never mind.
No, we don't do that until we start to submerge, but also got to get the dry bag, make sure get that neutrally buoyant. It takes a little time on the surface to get ready.
Oh my god! Like I said, I like you guys, but humans suck. Can't you even go a little bit into the ocean, like
We
a
can go
little
a
bit.
little into the ocean.
These
just-
bodies are basically balloons full of hamburger meat. Like it's just very fragile.
You heard him. He said it. I didn't. And then Rory is going to hop in, and he's going to go with Stingray this time. Just going with Stingray,
It's badass.
and
Oh,
does
don't
the
know
little
that, dude.
floaty, ripply thing. The stinger flips up at Mike as you do that at him, and you can just instinctively know that despite the absence of other stingers there to make it obvious that he is giving you the finger.
I was using 2 different languages of diving. Go
Rory doesn't know
subsurface
that.
or go subsurface.
Rory doesn't know that. Stingray Rory definitely doesn't.
Edith
you-
just starts doing the Macarena underwater, literally just to annoy him.
You guys do start to go under, however. There is, the sort of like little bits of ocean life and everything that you might expect from an area like this just off the coast. And barnacles and such as well. Don't at me out there, Twitch aficionados of Mediterranean oceans and what might actually exist within them.
There's not.
I did a lot of research historically for this episode,
I
not
would just
so
say-
much on the
Not
wildlife
nautically.
or diving techniques.
It's not a lot.
Not a lot.
No.
But as you do descend into the cave system itself, the flashlights and such provided would be very useful, as it quickly grows pitch black. Moving through there, it is a pretty wide opening, and you do not have to keep going deeper to get into it after the initial opening near the bottom of that outcropping. It goes pretty horizontal, and the walls are smooth enough that it is pretty clear this was not formed through natural means.
Does it look charred or does it look like drilled?
It's like bored almost. Yeah. And after about 4 or 5 minutes, you see a bit of light coming up in the distance. You are moving through and coming up on a place where you might be able to see a place to dip your head up. Go ahead and give me a cool roll.
Okay.
All of us?
Mm-hmm.
9.
9 as well.
5.
Ouch.
5. Okay. As you are swimming through this area, you witness through the bright light of the flashlight what seems to be very suddenly like the outline of a person in front of you. What seems like almost seaweed encrusted bones that reach out for a half moment before quickly disappearing again.
You don't say.
Tom and Mike manage to get through that mostly without incident. However, Edith's jerking about does put her in a difficult position where she's kind of fumbling to regain control of herself and not like thump into the wall. However, the vision is quickly gone.
I'm kicking as hard as I can to drag her along.
All right, go ahead and roll me a tough.
You can do it, brah. You can do it.
And 12.
12? Okay. Edith does manage to get herself under control rather quickly. She just has less experience diving, and she doesn't have the advantage of being.
She did not pay attention, but she should have been.
But as she cools off from the initial moment of being startled, Mike is able to use that line connecting to drag her back into place, so that everybody is settled again just near that opening.
We can't say anything, so we're just like looking through the opening. Do we see anything?
Light. Yeah, I'd say that it looks like a well-lit area. up on the other side of it, and more rock face overhead.
Cool. Can I very cautiously pop my head up?
Yes, you can. All right, you do so. You see... Oh, Micah, I think you are muted.
I told you to send with a closed fist first. You don't hit your head on anything when you're going up. Shoving her head down as I go up ahead of her.
Just kind of pop up at the same time behind Mike's closed fist. And as you do pop up one and then a few moments the other, you see a wide cavern with tiled floors. They are done in a very ancient looking style, along the lines of some of the architecture that you would have witnessed back in the city. However, this does not look ancient. It does not look worn. It does not look decayed. Additionally, you feel something wash over you as you bring your head above the water, and quickly you feel like a pit in the bottom of your stomach, where you suddenly have brought to your mind the most violent potential feelings you have about dragons in general, like any of the fear or frustration or horror you might have had when Rory was at his worst, before you all knew each other that well, and he was still seemingly a bit unhinged, or having witnessed his past history, or some of the nightmarish things that are suggested to you by this group of dragon hunters wash over you for a moment, and you are sitting there waiting for like a whiplash or like a crack to follow that does not come. The strike never seems to land.
Damn.
So we're just sitting in the water feeling terrible and afraid?
For a moment, yeah. It's not like a continuous thing. It's like a,
Okay.
in a momentary flare of deep upset, and potentially, you can define for yourself what the real like zenith of those negative feelings were, or like I might have to kill Rory, or any of those moments that have cropped up over time. And you are okay. As Rory flops out over onto the edge of this little pool, however, and into the tiled area, he does look like he's clutching his own stomach pretty intensely.
So much for having it gently.
Oh, you truly feel that?
Yeah.
That's not a bubble in our brain, is it, Mike?
No. Michael unhooks and crawls up onto the land and kind of force a habit. He stays low to the ground, starts stitching his gear, records total bottom time, descent time, ascent time with a wax grease pencil because he's old-fashioned. Helps Edith get out of her gear and set up everything so if we need to, we get back into it quickly, get in the water, even if for some reason we don't teleport out of here, or we don't just take our time getting out of here. But
Rory seems to be having a harder time acclimating to everything than the rest of you, though he does not seem to be horrifically impeded.
Okay.
can you how big is this area?
It would be, picture like an Olympic swimming pool sized hall, I'd say like something along those lines. I don't know why that's where my brain first goes for size reference when it comes to tiled areas. But
Rory, can you get to full size in here?
I could. I'll.
Do we think that's a good idea?
I don't know. I'm a little bit hesitant about it after that last little experience that I assumed the rest of us just had.
Okay.
I felt something. I don't think it was.
I just was thinking about every.
Did Rory tell us about his about the conversation with the dragon, where the dragon was like, "These are basically your pets. You take care of them."
No, you heard what he said. And that finishing off with like, if anybody messes with you, I'll screw them up. Like,
right. Okay.
Yeah. He didn't contextualize it like that. And it is entirely possible. Yeah, you know what? We have mechanics for a reason. Go ahead and give me a sharp to see if you picked up that he was holding back anything during that.
Okay. Oh dear God. Well, that is a 1.
God, Rory's weird sometimes. It's hard to get a read on that cat. He's a real wacky individual.
Experience.
So strange. I wish I knew him better. You know what? It's not like we live together or anything.
It's not like we've been adventuring buddies for a while. Yeah, but Rory's just like doing his best to get a feel on things. I don't know if he's like thrilled about the rest of us. I don't know.
What do you mean? I mean, okay, we knew he wasn't going to be super happy. That's why we brought the gold brick and the Rolex.
Mm-hmm.
And the iPad.
In those bags.
And the iPad.
And the iPad. No, I get it. I'm just saying that there may still be some other like attitudes or frustrations or like some sort of difficulty. And then if everyone close to Rory could go ahead and give me a cool roll again.
Mm-hmm.
3.
12.
13.
Okay. Each of you, if you'd like, I'm going to need at the same time for you to tell me who you want to shove out of the way as a piece of rock begins to fall from the ceiling directly towards Rory. So 3, 2, 1.
Rory.
Edith.
Okay. Edith did not have a chance to respond. Both Mike and Tom go to push Edith out of the way instinctively as the rock comes barreling down and hits Rory.
And they crash into each other, knocking each other out.
No, no, they both rolled high. They were able to very successfly remove you.
Rory
This rock lands on Rory.
As it
Are
comes.
you okay?
Yeah, how big is this rock?
It's like a pretty good sized rock. It
Roll
cracks
around
him
a
on,
little
like,
bit. You'll be all right.
It cracks him on the back, and he's kind of like pinned under it for a second as he just gasps out like,
Okay. Rude. Why did we not save Rory? Sorry.
Thomas, can you get this off of him?
There wasn't a lot of time to react. I get it. She's squishier than me. Oh my God.
I could have pushed you. We could have both just been like, phew.
This thing's bloody heavy.
Can I get it off of
Thomas.
him? Like, yep.
Yeah,
Help me.
Thomas and Mike can both go to do that. You're moving up, and you can give me a tough roll, or you could respond to the thing quickly rushing towards you down from the ceiling as you look up where the rock had come, and you see the spectral outline of a phantom wearing ancient robes and shrieking, specifically moving down towards the now trapped Rory, and speaking in what sounds like hissing, broken Latin.
That's not
Edith?
good.
Is everybody, are Thomas and Mike trying to move the rock currently?
Yes.
It depends on what their instinct would be, whether it's mess with this thing or get Rory out from under a rock.
Oh, I'm trying to get Rory out from under the rock. I have super.
Make the scene safe first.
So I would like to jinx Thomas because I can help a hunter if I get a good enough roll. And if you get to hold,
you've been doing great so far.
One over me. Well, okay. You know what? Edith is new to these magical powers, but she can clearly see that we A, need Rory. Also B, he looks like he's in pain and she's indignant that nobody tried to save Rory. This is just rude. Okay, well.
Thanks a lot.
How'd it go?
Actually, that was okay, well, a 6. So that means that
oh, I'm screwed.
It's like you roll the rock onto yourself.
You get to hold 2 to use over me.
Thomas face plants.
Okay, so what exactly effect does that have?
So you can twice. You can either interfere with me, giving me a -1. You can help somebody, giving them a +1. You can interfere with a monster or a minion. You can inflict 1 harm on a target. You can have somebody find something, or you can have somebody lose something.
Okay.
Twice.
That's not terrible, actually. That's pretty fine. It sounds like he has some terrible things he could do to you that he probably won't.
So you're welcome now.
Yeah.
Okay, that is Edith's quick response to this. Rory's is obviously struggling to get out from under a rock. Thomas was just trying to move the rock. Go ahead and give me that tough.
Super as a strength roll, so I get the extra bonus. That's a 12.
12 it is. Okay, you are able to get it most of the way off him. That you are quite strong, and you are able to shove it.
Rory, roll. Rory, roll.
It is a very heavy rock. Rory is trying to help. Rory doesn't roll as well as you did. He's also not nearly as tough as you are. However, you do manage to get it so that he pretty much only has like an ankle trapped now, and there is only one more turn in which he would be unable to really act from this position. Mike, you also have one chance to react.
He's gonna fire a burst into this thing coming out of the ceiling.
Now, do you think you would have had the chance to set up and pull out your gun already, or do you think you would have to go get it?
No, that'd be the first thing you get out.
Okay, all right, sounds good. I believe you.
It's so
You're not shooting it. Don't shoot it.
That's why he got an open bolt weapon, so he can fire directly come out of the water too. It's an open bolt. As soon as he pulls it up and aims it, all the water's coming out of the barrel. And you start.
What are you firing at it?
I didn't specify this, but he's pretty. Normally, he has silver tipped hollow point bullets with holy water in the hollow point.
Holy.
So on a spectral figure.
We're supposed to talk to it.
This isn't the dragon. It's some sort of spectral figure, right?
Then you know Rory can shapeshift.
The way
hey, Mike's made his choice.
Edith is sitting over there like, no.
I'm going to try to kick some ass.
All right, roll to kick that ass.
That's a 12.
12,
so
okay. And sorry, what kind of gun were you firing at it? How much harm would it typically do?
Typically, it does. Let's see, because it's a crew. What is it? Where is it?
I'm not familiar with the style of firearm that is.
It's a 7.62 machine gun, shortened. Okay. Where is that? Okay. I would assume it'd be like a 4 harm, 5 harm for him, and then he that's a crit for him, so basically 10 harm. He gets to double it. He gets to add one and then double
That's
it.
insane.
Yeah.
Wow.
It's,
When
that's what
in a
does is-
straight up fight, Mike does kick the ass. Yeah, you unload at it, and it does seem to like ripple holes through this thing, which is crying out, and you can feel the chamber rumble a bit with that reaction. And it hisses mightily, screaming out once more. Does anybody know Latin beyond what Mike would need for mass and stuff?
Mike should know it, but
Mike knows Latin.
Almost
Okay.
certainly not.
Okay, so you hear it. It's kind of like shaky and uncertain, but there is a consistent element that's screaming out of like, the worm, all this time, and another thing, another creature. We must hold them. They cannot join. No more.
I'm assuming, Mike, what is it saying?
It's like saying something about holding no more to the worm. It's some sort of guardian for the worm, or
And it outstretches its hands as more rocks begin to fall in your general direction, tumbling towards the rest of you.
No. We come in peace,
One is heavy enough.
Latin man.
Go ahead and give me cool rolls once again.
ooh, 6, 9.
9,
7.
10.
10. Okay. Thomas, unfortunately, you rolled high enough to not get hit by any of it yourself. However, you did not roll high enough this time to help someone else. Mike, you are going to get clipped slightly by one of them as it tumbles towards you, and it opens up a gash on your arm for 1 harm. Edith, one is going to clip you a little bit more fully, tumbling at your chest, and you take 2 harm.
Okay.
One of them also strikes the partially trapped Rory, dealing another 2 harm.
I'm sorry. I'm trying to get off you quick.
Son of a bitch. We're going to kill him.
We're
We're going
really
to kill him again if he's dead.
We brought an iPad if that's interesting, but we also have gold, and we don't want to hurt you.
I'm going to try to talk to this thing in Latin.
What do you say?
And say, we're only coming to talk. We are peaceful envoys.
Words are meaningless from the dark. And
The dark?
and he just keeps wailing. Who's up? Who wants to go?
All I'm doing is trying to get Rory free. So
Okay, roll again. Roll that tough.
it's another 10.
Another 10. That is enough to roll it the rest of the way off of him. As Rory, a bit squished and messed up, will roll onto his back. And he's like, I'm sorry, Edith. It keeps hitting me with things. I think I'm going to try and hurt it.
I'm sorry. No, we don't hurt it. We need to talk to it.
I'm going to try and hurt it. As he extends his arm up and lets go a blast of flame.
Normally, I'm all for this, guys, but literally, our whole plan was come in and talk to it, and we walked in and shot it.
It
It
threw a
shot
rock
me
at us.
with rocks.
We walked in and it dropped rocks on us. Then we shot it.
Then a gout of flame erupts and blasts from Rory's hand, as you've seen him do before. It does blast up at it. The thing is now in burning tatters, only barely maintaining cohesion after the shredded state it was left in by Mike's fire. Edith or Mike, who wants up next?
Okay. Well, I'm just gonna try to, I guess. I'm gonna try to jinx it. We'll try to do this again.
All right.
And oh my freaking okay. I don't know what's wrong with my dice. Both of them need to go to jail. It's 5, so you get 2 more. Also, I sent you a picture of the diagram in our chat, so you can.
Perfect. I noticed what you said, but I didn't realize. Okay, got it.
Yeah, Edith is trying mightily to get a handle around the magical powers that she has had, and apparently the dice gods
It's a rough day for them.
It is always a rough day for her. She doesn't like these magic powers. They don't usually work.
It's going to be an amazing day when it does, though. Mike?
Try to fire another good long burst into it.
Do it.
Oh, so that's a 15.
Oh,
So that's
damn.
10 more harm.
As you continue unloading, I kind of picture that you haven't actually really stopped except for the moment where you were trying to speak to it, and in between, which was maybe just a reload moment before you continued spraying. As you essentially evaporate this thing through a hail of gunfire. And its wailing ceases. And Rory rolls over, standing up. You know what? I think if you're good with it, and you know, if you got anything of worthy sacrifice, or you don't mind cutting your palm open or something again, Edith, it might be good if falling rocks didn't hurt me anymore. I'd like to be big.
All right, and she'll just grab like a jagged rock and cut her hand and be like, "Be as big as you like, sir."
Rory, thank you. As Rory flops out and expands his form again, as you've seen previously, and he grows to truly sensational size. He unrolls himself. He was clearly quite banged up, and those wounds are still apparent in his full draconic form. But obviously, instantly, he looks more powerful and impressive. He does also wince. It's a bit harder to tell. You know, obviously, his range of facial motion is not quite as strong in this form. And there is clear discomfort, though, as he manages it.
You'll be all right, buddy.
Oh, I don't know exactly what's going on here, but
It sounds like there might be more of you. Can you sense you?
what I can sense is that every time I'm thinking hard on what we're doing here, it becomes harder. There's like a heaviness to it. It's the words, whatever they were talking about. It affects me here.
Can we unword them? Can we just like break them off?
I'd say that as long as that wasn't who we were looking for, and we're likely to still meet them, then it might be rude.
Okay.
Should the 3 of us go on ahead?
No. I'm sorry, no, I want to be there.
Okay.
Let's do it.
I'll walk first.
As he
After that, buddy.
lowers his head and stalks forward. You have not witnessed Rory in his full draconic form all that often. There have been about 3 instances where it has been both used and useful for prolonged periods, mostly for a fight, and then it has to go back to normal.
Right.
Seeing him here doing his best to just be stout and proud, when he is just casually assuming this, and is wandering through, almost feels disconnected from the reality that you come to know him in. There is
Remarkable.
a utility that's come to be associated with this, you know, a problem solving.
A utility that's come to be associated with like being in
Like
dragon
him being in this big form and everything.
Yeah.
And it's probably only natural for you to have all seen him in his human body as the real Rory. But there is no doubt that he feels like less jittery, less manic, less nervous energy in this form, even when he is experiencing obvious discomfort. There is a level of patience to him here that simply does not exist when he assumes human form. It's almost like he's always trying to hold in more than reasonably wants to fit inside of it.
Makes sense.
As you travel along, the passageways remain beautiful and tiled and of various almost gaudy colors. And it is wide enough for Rory to pass through without incident. In fact, he would be able to do so if he were somewhat larger. Not like massively larger, but somewhat.
Fair enough.
And as you continue on, you come across a chamber. In that chamber, there is a table. And at the center of that table, which is kind of built almost like a fountain, there is a large, like, reflecting pool surrounded by like a ring where there are like various little implements and stuff. Everything in here doesn't have a trace of dust on it. It doesn't have a trace of wear. Doesn't have a trace of decay or dirt like you would expect to be within a cave system or an ancient ruin. These are just some plates and forks and knives and such, with what seems to be a half-eaten chicken on one side of the table, as an old-looking man stares into the pool. And he does not look up as he says, "That was unfortunate. I have done a great deal to ensure that the entrance would remain spotless when guests arrive. I hadn't actually noticed the phantom taking up in there. I'm sorry that you had to deal with it."
What was it?
A bit difficult to be certain, but I imagine that it was the spirit of someone who died to the wards, who meant me more harm than they were able to bear in return.
And
Makes sense.
gentle old man, sir, who are you?
There is one of you who might be able to say my name, though I do not know if he possesses the aptitude still. To the rest of you, there are any number that would work. If my visions have not lied to me, the one you have heard before is Damek. You may continue to use it if you find that comfortable, though I can provide you with an array of others.
That works. Thank you. It's nice to meet you.
Damek, it's nice to meet you. Your draconic majesty.
He looks at his
No.
hands. Am I impolite by having you arrive in this form when your companion has already assumed his true nature? I've just been sitting here in this for quite a while, since my last meal, in fact.
You can wear. This is your house. You can wear whatever you like. He was nervous because of the phantom.
This is not my home. It is merely a place where things can be preserved. And a place where I can watch and take stock.
And what exactly are you watching for?
Whatever needs to be known.
But if you're
Whatever
just
must be seen by those upon their awakening.
so you're here to catch the others up when they wake up?
That isn't incorrect, though it is simplistic. There is something beyond events which they would have to know. There is an energy and a flow to this world. All of you have seen it and witnessed it to some degree. Most of you have interfaced with it directly, although it is most opposed to you, Shardling. You are almost antithetical, alien to it, but you have flown along the edges of that river for some time.
Yeah, well, I try.
I do not say such to be uncouth. I am.
Oh, all good. I get it.
And you, young one, he turns to Rory. You are of a line with which I am familiar. But you have disappeared a great many times beyond my sight. It is easy to see things which anyone may, harder to see that which is kept hidden. But I know much of your story. I have seen the way that you have struggled and hidden and drawn blood. Rory looks like he is on the verge of like squirming under that a little bit, as you've seen him get like deeply uncomfortable discussing his past, both his own crimes and the indignities that he's suffered. And then he just kind of like shakes his head and says, I'm here. I've gotten through. I've done what I've needed to do. I've made do with what I must. I have powers beyond even what my mother had. She was strong, powerful, knowledgeable. She's capable of using the force of the world in a way that I've never been able to. But I've learned things that she wouldn't have had the chance to. I've been forced to grow due to these circumstances.
Circumstances, contrary to popular opinion, though, do not always spur growth, no matter how arduous. That is only the case if one is able to find a way to thrive despite that adversity. Sometimes adversity just weakens one both spiritually and physically. You have been weakened physically. I can sense that, though there is no denying the display of magical force that you were able to put on in my waiting room and so scar my lovely tiles. Not that you were the first, nor do I blame you. The rocks tumbling down did more harm than your little display of fire. I have grown, and I have protected what is mine. I've protected this whole world. And where were you during all that?
I was here. Believe me, I am more than aware of the trouble that was brought on by the near calamity that everybody suffered. But one witnesses enough calamities, and there's a sense of natural resignation that applies. If everything I knew was to end, I do not know that an additional application of force would have truly made the difference. And if it had, well, you wouldn't have been so terribly heroic and wouldn't have grown so much. Not that that was my intent, mind, but still, very impressive for you.
They're going to come for you if they can. You know that, right?
Oh, some have. They have been for some time. I imagine that little whisper of an echo of a shade was one such from a very long time ago. But I know that their methods are more advanced now, and 100 feet of solid rock does not offer the protection that it once did. I am not immune to their deprivations either. I know that there is a time coming where, if I should wish to continue to exist, I will leave, though that is uncertain.
Where will you go?
Either to complete my task or to die. One of the two.
How long have you been waiting around like this?
Since not long after this one's birth. I have not had a great deal of company other than my observations. I will admit that there is cynicism that one cannot help but have when in this position. One interacts with, for instance, a human. He gestures to the half-eaten plate of chicken across the table from him. One has an intimate understanding of the way that their short lives matter to them, the ways in which the things which I might consider small or very passing to be deeply significant to their lives. Their context is so immediate at all times. Everything feels critical. And then when one steps back and looks at everything, and if anybody is looking at the pool, you would see a continuous stream of images bombarding everything from the best and worst hits of mankind, essentially, from the Holocaust to the decolonization of India to, like any number of various historical genocides or any number of truly great triumphs and medical breakthroughs and things of that nature.
One can become a bit dull to even the most fascinating things that your species accomplishes. I think that what you have done, Rari, is provided yourself with a bit of that immediacy. I envy it to a certain degree, but there is a pitfall to this. It is difficult to see everything when one stares so close to the ground. Do you think that you are better off for this?
Rory looks back at the three of you.
I don't bloody know. I know it's what I've got. I know that it was the best I could have done with it. I was imprisoned. I was taken.
I tried to give him back.
She did. She did do that.
Do you think, and I would know better than any of you, and I do not know, but do you think that if everyone should witness my kind rising again, that the result would be catastrophic along the lines of what happens every time a group of your people come into contact with something they do not understand very well?
Lots of damage.
Truthfully, no. We would probably blow up half the planet, which I don't think you guys want.
It is our world. I understand that it is yours, and you have ruled it, and I do not even deny the legitimacy of such things. You are at the top of the food chain and have been since we've been asleep. There is no denying the ingenuity required to do such. When I say this is our world, I mean that the world expresses itself through us. We are an aspect of it, and to destroy us, as has been attempted many times, is to cut off an arm of the world itself. There are reasons which one might do so, and there may be legitimate reasons for you to purge all of us. If an arm is gangrenous, after all.
Okay, but you don't have to be gangrenous. This could be mutually beneficial.
Are you certain it can be?
Okay, well, a lot of people suck, but some people don't. And I'm sure you have dragons that also suck. So that is a point of commonality.
I think it would be in your best interest, in all of our best interest, to contact certain leaders and make sure they understand who and what you are. Because if the world does, if humanity makes its goal to eliminate your race, we might kill ourselves off in the process.
Because we're kind of dumb.
We could certainly destroy the world to make it very difficult for any life to live on it.
If
But-
you did harm the world enough, we could not exist here.
And we would have a really tough time doing it also. I'm not saying that's a good thing. I'm saying that's something we might do out of fear and ignorance.
What do you think will happen when your kind wakes?
The long sleep can do many things. It can change people in ways you don't expect. It's possible that things might be different than I see, have come to expect, and it may be just the weight of years filling me with such a profound lack of optimism. But in the same way that all it would take is 4 or 5 of your people who suck to doom your entire race if they were committed enough to a course of action that decided it. Even if 9 in 10 of mine decided that they wished to coexist with your people, the catastrophe would be unimaginable, and it is possible that more than 1 in 10 would be persuaded to join the cause of ensuring that everything was designed appropriately for us to rule again, simply by virtue of the fact that the 1 in 10 could not be restrained.
How many of you are there?
Yikes.
Because I'm not gonna lie, I was envisioning like a Dragon Ball, like there's 10 of you.
More. Less than 1,000 at last count. And there could be significantly less. Again, if things wish to be unseen, it is harder to find them, and the hunters have been searching. I could have lost many of my kin during their slumber.
I think they
Perhaps
got
all of them.
And we are very, very sorry for that.
those things that protect you guys when you fall asleep or try to keep them out. I broke one. I think they bad guys got through. I'm sorry. I didn't know.
That
Do
is
you
unfortunate.
Are you able to see these hunters, and do you know where they are?
Some, the less magically adept. But those are also the least threatening.
How
Would you like me to tell you a story? I don't know if you are in a great deal of a hurry.
we have as much time as between now and when, you guys start waking up. Or we get hungry because we are tiny and squishy and need food.
We're not in a rush by human standards.
Yeah, I'd hear what you have to say.
Also, thank you for telling us your story. These are for you. And she will just plop the bag of like gold bars and the iPad. And what else did we bring? Oh, the Rolex.
That we were supposed to try not to give, we didn't have to.
Thank you.
Edith just like curtsies super.
He just smiles kind of
He's like-
half-heartedly.
She's just imagining, she's like, I don't know, he's around in the Middle Ages. Is this appropriate?
The half-eaten food before you has been preserved as everything else down here by the wards that I put in place. It was from the last moments that I shared with a human being before this moment. I believe that you have journals pertaining to it, in fact.
Emperor Arcadius? Did he eat some of that chicken?
Yes. Would you like the rest? It's still hot.
I would just like a little bite, if I might.
It's
I mean,
1,000-year-old chicken.
perfectly preserved, still hot.
chicken that Emperor Arcadius ate. This is your last chance ever to do this.
Rory is caught between like, this is the most important moment of my life, and also I want to do that, but I'm really big right now, and I probably wouldn't notice it as well.
He'll pull off a little chunk and toss up to Rory, see if he can get his mouth.
Goddamn delicious.
Very well seasoned, but maybe a bit plain by modern standards. It's like a well-cooked chicken done extremely well.
That's
Probably
amazing. And
Emperor's chicken would have been very spicy because they showed off their wealth by having spicy food.
They living in the area he did. It's also a nexus for it.
Come on, Edith.
fine, I'll have the chicken. Just pay attention to the story.
Good.
Try
good.
Rory's just going to be so jealous.
It would still be good for a few hours if you removed it and put it in the bag.
Hell.
All right, I mean, if you're offering, we could take it. We have a friend who would be very excited to eat Arcadia's chicken.
I don't mind. He would come here sometimes early in his reign.
This is surreal.
He visited often. He was thrust into the role of emperor at 17 years old when his father, Theodosius I, died on campaign. And his younger brother was made the emperor of the Western Empire. And he was made to rule from Constantinople. I witnessed, despite my best efforts at council, my best efforts to be someone involved in the affairs of the beings which were quite obviously going to rule this world in our absence, to be more than an observer, to be an active part. And everything that I did felt so important at the time, all of the advice that I gave. And he sought out other opinions. First was Rufinus, the Praetorian prefect of the East, determined to annihilate his political foes by marrying the emperor to his own daughter. He lasted for a year in his role as advisor. That was due to the influence of the eunuch Eutropius coming and managing to bring the emperor under his sway, arranging a marriage to a beautiful young lady. And because of this, Eutropius was in a position of favor, and I advised against falling too deeply under the sway when he had just managed to free himself of an influence that only had its own best interests at heart. And then, of course, Eutropius was later banished and then executed for continuing to conspire for still greater power. Gainas, Eudoxia, John, Chrysostom, all of them, time after time after time, there was someone whispering in the ear until he just grew tired of it as he grew older. Didn't even have the stomach to rule anymore. Didn't even have much of an appetite. He tried so desperately to hold on, to find the voices which would make ruling correct, would follow his father's intent. He divided the empire to save it. It was too large, too unwieldy for one man. And Arcadius quickly discovered that every empire is too big for one man, and everything that he tried to hold on to would eventually only crumble. Until, of course, Anthemius came out as the victor of all of those attempting to get his ear and essentially rule in Arcadia's stead for the last 4 years of his life, until well into the reign of Arcadia's son. And all of those things, every last instant of it, was so critical for Arcadius. Felt like the empire was going to go down in flames immediately upon it being formed in its eastern half. And yet, the empire persisted for another 1,000 years, up until the Ottoman Turks, led by Mehmed II, overthrew them. And do you know why, in that city, just over that way, that those Ottoman Turks came through and destroyed so much of what was conquered when they had not originally intended to do so? Because when the defenders of Constantinople lined up along those walls, as I watched from here in my little tomb, they, outnumbered horribly, and with the chance to simply walk away and surrender what they had held on to so fiercely, decided that they would fight to the last, out of pride, out of belief, out of the hope that it would mean something. And because of that, somewhere between 30 and 50,000 citizens of Constantinople were violated, enslaved, or killed. Sometimes, just letting go and allowing things to happen as they will is the right course of action. And I have been contemplating since that moment, and again, since I began to take notice of events in the American West Coast recently, if I should simply surrender, or if there might be some good that comes out of me once again doing my best to meddle.
It depends. Where do you want, which direction are you inclined to meddle?
Another good question. I would be interested in less bloodshed, but would a bid now save that? Would a decisive crushing of humanity's ability to resist our will cause less suffering in the long run? Or would clipping the wings of all of my brethren before they're even able to rise do more for the common good? Or does everybody deserve a chance?
Maybe you could just eat all the bombs.
I could just eat all the bombs.
I don't think you could.
Okay, well, if there's 1,000 of them.
Feels like we need to.
They might die of radiation poisoning.
I don't believe that we can just... Forgive me if this sounds too human, but if you have a preferred end, I feel like you have an obligation to work for it. I feel like even if you don't know if it's going to work out like you'd intended, you have to try. And if that's not fighting, if you'd prefer for there to be less fighting, first option's words, right? Something. You should do something.
What if we just all woke them up with a nice cow?
That's wonderful, Edith. We'll sacrifice cows to the sleeping dragons.
No, I'm saying wake them up. So, when they wake up, there's we have brought them food. Hello, we are here as your neighbors. Nice to meet you.
For some, I imagine that would actually be quite effective.
Coffee and coffee cake, probably.
Cake?
That has been a very intriguing invention.
Now,
What would you have me do?
Can you keep them asleep?
No. No one has that power. The tides of the world ebb and flow, and this is approaching high tide.
Can you
contact all of them and impress upon them the danger to them and to the world if humans and dragons go to war again?
The most I can do is convene a gathering, but I cannot command or compel all of them.
No, just
would
explain to them the danger, not tell them what they must do, and make sure they understand what might happen. And perhaps out of the hundreds of dragons, some of them might have better ideas than any of us can come up with right here.
Perhaps. I was never the wisest, only the most patient.
Even idiots come with great ideas every once in a while. So we have hundreds of dragons with combined millions of years of experience, maybe. One of them might have a brilliant idea.
I can explain what has happened. When I do convene this, it might be wise if we had the other dragon who has been awake throughout these centuries to speak and provide some context a bit closer to the ground.
Are we talking
Rory looks
Rory?
moment.
If it'll bloody help, I'll do it. How long do you think before you can gather the awake ones together? Or when we say that they're waking up, like I saw one in a telescope one time, but when they're awake, why haven't we noticed them rampaging about yet? These things do take time. But some have begun to maneuver to secure their own holdings, to ensure that they are not threatened. But they will not act until they have some context, which I will attempt to provide for them. I will need to tell them about the threats currently seeking their demise as well.
That's fine. I feel like
It's fair.
yeah.
It definitely should do it. It's more than fair. That's almost obligatory that we tell them there are threats who can seriously hurt them who are hunting them.
And
very well.
We might be able to help. If we can police our own, and you could police your own, then...
You have been carrying fate on your string about as if it were a yo-yo for some time, haven't you? Very well. All of you, and your friend Rose as well, will be invited along with Rory as soon as I am able to convene them. It will not be long. I believe it may be time for me to leave this room for the first time in an age.
Sounds like it.
Can you find your own way out?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, we can do that.
I would leave this chamber then. I will not be leaving subtly.
I hope that you enjoy the weather.
Goodbye, Rory. And
it seems like he was about to say something and considers it.
Thomas, Edith, and Michael.
Goodbye, Damon.
Goodbye, guy who stayed awake.
Is there another thing we should know?
Only that I do not have time to tell you everything that might be known that you should perhaps seek out. Instead, there is a library. If you look for it, seek out any others who've had an interest in buying up draconic lore books which do not concern your professor friend. If so, I imagine you'll stumble across it rather quickly.
Okay. Could you
I'm
just
going
tell
to-
us?
No, I don't know precisely. Hidden
Fair.
things, Paul. I would like you to leave now.
Thank you.
As
Of course.
he begins to reach out his arms, which quickly form into mammoth limbs stretching out
great.
as he expands into a being approximately 1 1/2 Rory's in size. His scales are black, but with a sort of oily shine to them, cascading into almost like luminescent purples in the right lights. And as he stretches out his wings, which grow from nearly one side of the room to the other with various scratches and gnarled marks carved in all across them, as well as down his whole body. He opens his mouth as if to roar, but it's like when you can't hear a dog whistle. You feel sound washing over you, but it's in like a pitch that you can't hear, except for Rory as he continues to back up and tears form in his eyes, as you can tell that he is reacting with something akin to awe at whatever he is hearing. And Damek reaches up and flies to the roof of this room, and with a great pulling gesture throws apart the rocks to either side, blasting his way apart and tearing his way up through the cavern. The rock slide does not begin to spread, perhaps another effect of the wards, so there's no danger of it caving in on you. But it does begin to bury the room that you were in as he burrows his way out towards the light. And I believe that is probably a good place to end this session tonight.
Ooh. Yeah, that's getting real.
So
This is gonna be fun.
fabulous. You know what we need is some mech suits.
We do need some mech suits,
Anti-dragon mech suit.
but shaped like dragons. Like we should be flying dragons, or like each one of us gets like a limb or and the neck or something. Like I'm the wings
Like a-
guy.
By
And
the
we team
power
up.
of friendship, forget Dakota rings. We're just getting a mech dragon.
We're Voltroning our way to victory.
Yeah, dragon version of Voltron.
Yeah, exactly.
Cool. Well, tune in for Wealdport, the Voltron episode later in the season. I don't know. We don't know what's happening next. We will be off next week for the holiday, but we will be back the Tuesday after that with more adventures. If you would like something to entertain yourself during the holiday, please feel free to catch up on our first season, which is many episodes long, and also our
That's
second
good,
season, which I
too.
think we're up to like it says episode 12 in our title. So you know.
There's more than that because two-parters, but yeah, not too many more.
Anyway, thanks so much for tuning in, guys. We will see you around.
See you guys.
Have a great
wonderful
week.
night.
Nice.